Good morning, everybody. This is Dina from Re-Claym'd Market in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. I am back on here today and actually again tomorrow at 11 to kind of follow up on the video that I did last week on blending. If you didn't see it, just scroll back through our page and watch it when this one's over. So I've been working with a cabinet door, and I told you how I had prepared it, and then I just did the blending last week. Today I'm going to tell you how to distress and apply clear coats. I was going to have it already all done and just jump right into tomorrow's live, but I decided that you guys may want to see how I do that. But then next week I think I'm going to back up and show you how I prep either a furniture piece or a cabinet door. I will be using a cabinet door, but it applies to furniture as well. So I'm going to show you how to do prep, cleaning it, rinsing it, that kind of thing, and then applying the paint. There are different styles of painting. Mine is typically doing 2 light coats. I like it because it dries fast in between coats, and it gives me the coverage that I need. And it's, to me, easier than doing 1 thick or heavy coat. So I don't have a ton of time today, so I'm just going to jump right in and show you guys exactly what I'm doing. Give me 1 second. I just want to see if I can see this on my page in case you guys have any questions. No, it's not on there. So, let me just make sure it's not somewhere else. No. All right, so I will, if you have any questions, please just put them in the comments, and when this is over, I will respond. I'll also put a link to, oh, there it is, to my, let me see if I can get I will put a link to my YouTube channel, and that way if you want to see any of the other videos that we've done, I promise most of them are really quick if you just want to learn how to do something using the Dixie Belle paint products. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'm going to tilt my camera down so you won't see me anymore, but you'll see the board that I'm working on. So this is what we did last week. I used the new flea market paints, and I did the market green, and then I added I believe it's called aged ivory. I believe that's the one I used. Off the top of my head, I'm not real sure. To add just a little highlight into the center, just to kind of give it a little interest. So you could picture this on like a dresser and the drawers are highlighted, or even on your kitchen cabinets if you decided that's what you wanted to do. But today what I'm going to show you is what I do next. So this was painted actually last week. So the first thing I'm going to do is these are available through Dixie Belle. These are our buffing pads. And I just kind of buff the paint a little bit. It kind of knocks that chalky feel off of it, which some people really like. I'm just not a huge fan of that. I like mine to be nice and smooth. So this is what they look like when they come, but I cut mine in half, especially for small projects. If I'm doing like a big dresser or a buffet, I do keep it whole, but I do cut mine in half quite often. So the only thing I'm going to do, and I did do this ahead of time, but I'll show you what I'm doing. Let me do it this way so you won't get that shadow. You really just kind of go over it. This is not sanding. This is not doing anything but knocking off that chalky feel. And I just, give it a good go. And I just go over all the surfaces. Back up some of my supplies here. So I'm going to just show you guys a quick little how I distress in this video. And then I'm also going to show you how I apply the Dixie Belle's clear coat. Today, I do the same thing for the clear coat satin, for the gloss, for the flat, and for gator hide. So I apply all 4 of those products the same way. But first I'm going to show you how I distress. I don't distress every piece. This is purely personal preference and the look that you're trying to achieve. So again, these are the sponges that I have available here in the store and online. And these are from Dixie Belle. It's a sanding sponge, so it's you know, pliable. It's easy to maneuver and work with and get into small places. But on my small pieces and demo pieces, I do use a halvesy. So I've cut that in half already. And to me, distressed means that it's going to show wear that looks natural or normal. If you think of it like jeans, if you buy a pair of jeans that are distressed, it's going to be like around the pockets are a little worn, or, you know, the knees, that kind of thing. Where if you buy a pair of jeans that are considered destroyed, it's got all the rips and holes and tears in it. So this to me is distressing. I lightly distress where it's normal. So to me, normal distress applies a lot in the corners. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and show you how I do it. And I also, on top of these, I like these. So this one is just a fine grit sand sponge, and I use these over and over. When I'm done with this, I will rinse this out, let it dry good, and it'll be ready for my next project. And that applies to both of these. I don't know if everyone does that, but I do, and it works fine. So this is my sanding sponge. Now I use a 220 or higher grit. You can use regular sandpaper too. I just like these better. It's easier to grip and hold. So just to show you how quick. Now the reason it's white coming through is this piece, because I've used it in multiple demos. I did do a layer of boss on it to kind of hide all the other stuff that I had done. So I have to get through that as well if I'm going to do a true distress. But I would just go right along the corners. This one's a little tougher, so I am going to go with it. So you can see it kind of hits. If you do it gently and easy, you're going to hit just the parts that are raised. This is like a little recessed area in here. So the sandpaper's not going to get in there, because natural wear and tear wouldn't get in there either. Another place might be right here in this corner. Maybe, you know, you have kids and or dogs like I do that, you know, go after different areas. So that would take that off. Another area, I'm just going to hit that with a little water. I don't have my regular mister out here today, just so I can get the dust off. So that's, to me, a good distress. Now, if this were a piece of furniture that I was really working on and going to be living with in my house, I would make sure I distress down and get all that white off if I had it. For that's just from where, again, I used the boss to kind of hide everything else that I had done. So that is super easy distressing. Another area that may be distressed is, so this piece is obviously not one that I'm using, but that's where the, you know, the cabinet door knob would be. That area, if people are handling it all the time, that area is going to get wear and tear. So that's another area that I would, you know, distress and try to take some of the paint off, because in real life, that area is going to lose. Even if it's not from wear and tear, just from the oils in your hands constantly touching this area, that will be an area that is worn as well. So anywhere that you think is natural and normal wear is where I would work on distressing. So I'm just going to quickly do some of these other edges, just to show you. It is a super fast and easy way. And again, it's personal preference. So if you don't like the distressed look, then you would skip right over this. If you are more contemporary in your decorating, sometimes this would not be the way you would want to go. And actually, I don't even mind the way that boss looks coming through with this color green and with the highlight in the middle. I think it kind of adds to it, actually. I thought I would go back and do more, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I like And you can see how quickly that can come off. And look right here, I don't know if you can see, let me get in here a little, let me do it this way, maybe that will be better. Right here, I've gone through and you can see the wood, where am I at? Wood here. But then over here, you can see some of the painted areas and then it goes back to wood. I like that because it looks natural. If I sanded it all back to the wood and had it a uniform line across, it would look manufactured. And my style is not a manufactured look. I like the hand done look. Now this is only going down to the boss so far, so I do want to take that a little further. I do want the wood to come through. Now we'll hit these corners, and I think that's going to be all I do for this one. And I'll get right to the clear coat. Some people do clear coat with a brush, and that is perfectly fine, and it's made to go on with a brush, no problem. But if you've ever applied it with a sponge, you'll never go back to using a brush. It is so much faster and so much easier, and you get a nice smooth finish. So for this demonstration on distressing, this is really all I'm going to do on this one today. So to finish up, I'm just going to hit this with just a little mist. I'm going to wipe it back to get all the dust off of it from the paint. It's just paint dust because I really didn't do sanding per se. It's just getting some of the paint off. So that's just plain water. Wiping it back with a little paint rag. These are the disposable paint rags. They're lint free. You just pick these up at like Lowe's or Home Depot in the paint department. A little nicer than using a paper towel because you don't get the lint that a paper towel can use. So now that I'm looking at it, I think I need to add a little distressing here and here as well. So just bear with me for a second. And I would go back and do it later, but I want to show you how to apply the clear coat. Might have got a little heavy-handed right there, but I'm okay with that. So that's it for distressing. And Dixie Belle does not, it's a product that has a higher level of acrylic in it, so it really don't have to be clear coated. It depends on what the piece is. With me, is if I add a clear coat. If it's something that I'm going to be using regularly, yeah, even like a dresser or a buffet or even a coffee table or end table, I do like to add a level of protection to it just because we use it. And I had put the work into painting it. I want to make sure it lasts as long as possible. There are pieces like more decorative pieces or occasional tables that sit in a corner and really don't get used. I just, a lot of times, will just lightly sand them to, it comes up a really nice, buttery, smooth feel. And it just, again, just knocking that chalky feel off of it. And it's fine. It's fine. 30 days after you paint something, the paint is fully hardened and fully cured and has more or less become part of the piece. And it's fine. It don't even have to have a clear coat or wax or any of that kind of protection. So I'm going to tilt this back down and show you how I use the clear coat. Again, this is the one I'm using today. This is the Dixie Belle's just clear coat in satin, I believe. Whoop, there you are. Again, this one's available in flat and gloss. And then we have gator hide, which I use for, that's the most durable, tough finish that we have. That one I use a lot on tabletop surfaces or on kitchen cabinetry, bathroom vanities, that kind of thing. But my go-to is the clear coat satin. So the way I'm applying that today as well, let me show you the good one. This is the blue sponge that we sell. I have them in the store, and I have them online as well. And I'm using my well-loved one. I think I just saw my buddy Lisa pop on. Hey, Lisa. I don't normally say my hellos to everybody, but how are you? So what I'm going to do, let me tilt that back down so you can see what I'm doing here. Can you see my hands here? Yeah. So I'm just, actually I may need to get my new sponge over here. Oh, let me just open up a new one. Now I have used these damp and I have used them dry. I do both. I'm sure there's a right or wrong way, but I got to tell you, I have good luck with this, and I've never really sweated it. It is all suggestive, so it's whatever works for you. So what I'm going to do is technically you should pour this into another container, but I go through it so fast I don't, and I know that's probably not right, but I'm going to dip this in here and I'll show you. So it's got like a good amount. I'm just going to wipe that off on the edges. I don't need that much. Now this sponge does have the little groove in the middle. That is, oh, where are you? Really good for like getting around corners and getting into detail. And then all I do, super easy, is you just wipe it on. I do take this one in one direction pretty much, like in the way that the grain goes. Now I'm saying that as I go around this way now. But it's, let me get that up a little bit there. I go in the direction that the wood is going. So on the sides, I will go sideways here. And that is really how easy is that. Now when this dries, I will go back and give it a second coat. And I just try to go in straight lines the way it goes. It's a thin layer, no gloopies, no like big piles of it. When you're doing your furniture, always make sure you check your edges that you don't have any drips or runs, because it will dry and it'll just be harder to repair. So just always go back and make sure you don't have that. But you can see what a thin layer I put on, and it goes in easy, even and smooth. I won't have brush strokes. And when I'm doing this on a piece of furniture, I do go back and I give it a second coat. And then that's it. So when this video ends, this will dry. I will do that exact same thing again and give it its second coat. And then it's going to sit and wait for tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to come on and show you how to just quickly use some wax or glaze to bring out details. Now we have wax that, I don't know if I grabbed the right board, but our waxes are available in clear, which I'm not really going to be using tomorrow, but I will pick one of the colors. So it's going to be black, brown, grunge gray, or white. Probably won't use the white, to be honest. And then I will be using the same in our glazes. We have a black, Van Dyke brown, and a grunge gray in that as well. So I will show you how to use that to bring out some of the details. Let me just show you in a piece, like the grooves, shadowing and adding some depth to this piece. And then next week, if you want to tune back in, I will be backing up a little bit and going back to the beginning, how I prep a piece. So you'll see how to clean it, what I use to clean it, rinsing it, and my favorite tools that I use that make life a little easier when you are flipping furniture. And that today, everybody, is it. So if you tune back in tomorrow around 11, it's going to be another super quick get on it kind of how-to, and we will get this door finished eventually. I'm just going to see how long and see what all I can do to this one, I guess, in these demos. But thank you so much for tuning in. And if you know someone who is a painter who might benefit from any of my tips, please send this little video along, and I would super appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.